Okay.
All right. Well, action. Well, we're back. Jonathan and Stephanie, a couple of singles, or AKA a couple of singles. Just going to continue our discussion from last time. I'm not sure how all this is going to go up. Our rankings going to go up and all that stuff. We figure out logistics out later. However, we're going to continue talking about the relationship dynamics. We're first starting with like men and women. We're going to like, family, your grandparents, all that kind of stuff. However, it starts with a couple, so we're gonna start there. And like we said last time, we're examining the lyrics of a folk band called the Civil Wars. And they actually did a cover of a Michael Jackson song that we're all familiar with called Billie Jean. And we're going to go over the lyrics for this podcast. We're just kind of talking about the implications, how did we get here kind of a situation, So, obviously, it was a party. It started out as a party, I should say. And then it got real serious, which is kind of how life goes. And, I guess we're just starting the first stanza here.
Right. Very well said. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, I don't mind. But what do you mean? I am the one who will dance on the floor in the round? She said, I am the one who will dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean, as she caused a scene. Then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one who will dance on the floor in the round.
Huh. So her name is Billie Jean. So first off, fellas, be careful. You know what I mean? They have two first names. That's a red flag.
Oh no.
Hey, you know Billie Jean, guys, didn't we?
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel?
Yeah.
Or Joe.
Billy Joe. Billy Joe.
Yeah, well, she's cool.
Yes. I actually like women that have male names. I think they are some of the dopest women, so that's my opinion.
I mean, hey, maybe it's not red flag. Maybe it's just this particular reason. Maybe it's a Millie with a IE instead of Y.
I'm not
Gotta
sure.
Be careful. I'm constant on the first one, constant on the second one.
Very good. So, people always told me to be careful.
Oh, wait, it's going first.
Oh, the first one. Okay.
So, I was on Beauty Queen. Because let's just be honest here. The first thing you notice about a person is what you see. And I think sometimes, well, we know this, but sometimes we downplay how much someone's appearance impacts our attractiveness to them. And it's kind of strange because you act like it's no, I like them for their mind. It's like, you can't see the mind.
Correct.
After 50 years, you still can't see a mind. So how do you see their mind? You saw them. Like, let's just be honest about it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And in particular, in the church and like in religious organizations, we kind of act like we're not attracted to people. It's like, yeah, I know you're saved, but you're still attracted. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You're humans. We're supposed to be attracted. It's natural. It's what happens, It's just that you have to manage how your mind goes almost completely crazy after you become attracted to someone.
Yes.
It's a management issue.
It is a management issue. Absolutely. Because beauty is important. I think you should be attracted to whoever that you're pursuing. I think that it's just, like you said, it's natural, it's real. And anybody that is downplaying it, I'm concerned.
Right. Yeah, it's a strange thing to dismiss as if it's not like apparent. Like we have actual beauty contests. He's the most beautiful
Exactly.
in the whole entire world. Like, what? Miss Argentina? Okay. It's like, that's how important this is. And it's okay. It's like, I mean, you have to, if you're going to talk about human interaction, you have to start from an honest place. You know what I mean? I think that's part of some of the issues we're having is that we're not honest about just the basics. And seems just wrong.
Exactly. And I think when it gets wrong or negative is when we begin to compare and stuff like that. There's no need for that. If you're attracted to that person, that is what it is. There's no need to start comparing yourself to other women or men or whatnot, or because we're all 1 in 8 billion. It is what it is. So
interesting story. So I asked my ex, I'm like, no, she might ask me, I don't know. Someone started this argument, and it started off innocent. And the question was, who's like the most beautiful woman you've ever seen? I'm pretty sure she asked me that. Remember. And I was like, what's her name? Paul Patton. Gorgeous. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And I said it a lot faster than I just said it, because she was on
top
my mind.
of mind.
Top of mind. I mean, this is what it is,
Oh
right?
no.
However, my ex got offended, like, almost immediately, and everyone's like, how could you say something other than her? I'm like, because there's other people in the world. Like, what are you talking about? And so she did her whole pouting face and, it's not me, yeah. I'm like, first of all, no, it's not. Second of all, I'm not the hottest person you saw in like the last year, right? Your whole life. So let's be honest here. So she starts laughing because she knows it's true. I'm like, okay, I'm asking you, who's the most handsome man you've ever seen? And she tried to like take her time, like it was hard.
Like she hadn't thought about it before.
Now she mentioned it, I'm like, okay, take the time. Guess what she said?
I don't know what her taste is like.
Aquaman. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Literally opposite.
Our hair? We have different. He has
Everything.
Hair, woman. It's like he has travel tattoos and he comes out of the water, and you're saying that I was wrong for saying an actual human. She picked a superhero and got mad at me. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Hey, pause. He's a good looking man, and I'm okay to say that. And Paul Patton was made by God himself, so it just is what it is. However, I like her, and she liked me. And
right.
I'm not like, and she'll say this to this day. Walking around, I wasn't making my neck looking at everything going around. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So,
right.
I know I had a responsibility to her to maintain that, to remove that insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
However, sorry about that. I got long legs, people. There we go. I had the responsibility to remove that insecurity by not looking at whoever's passing by. However, the thing that made it easy is I wasn't looking at it in the first place.
Right. I think I always feel uncomfortable and bad for women when I just see their guy, like every single person, like making it super noticeable, where it's just like you're talking about breaking their neck.
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, it's like, yikes.
I mean,
like, good gracious.
It is horrible. However, it's, you remember that dog on Up when he's like, squirrel. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna talk. It's basically like that. So, you, as a man, you should get over that after a while. I feel like if you're past 25 and you're still doing that, it's kind of like,
yikes.
I mean, get some self-control there. However, it is literally like that almost, what do you call that? It's not instinct. It's almost like a knee-jerk reaction. It's really like that as a man. You're just like, oh, what was that? And that's kind of what really does to you. I think it probably happens less with women. I don't know. However, I'm sure it does. You're just like, whoa, that's a gorgeous.
Right. Well, for me, I'll speak about myself personally, and maybe it's even environment where we're at in Colorado. There are not right there. There was this one man that I had talked to previously. We decided to stop talking, and it was such a long time I forgot about him. Anyway, I saw him years later at a gas station and could not stop thinking about this guy for hours. And that's very unusual for me. Like, it's like you're like, oh, he's handsome. And for literally, just as handsome, gone, forgot about him. No, hours down. I'm like, what is going on? And then I had to think about it. I'm like, there's not many people here that are that attractive. Yeah, so it's a real thing.
However, I used to live in Iowa. Colorado is like Miami to Iowa. Hey, great people. You know what I mean? It's like they can marry outside the family structure kind of situation. However, not very nice people. I'll say that. I met my lady Daniel out here from Iowa. He's like, oh my God! I'm like, I know.
I love it. I love it.
I know.
Like,
yeah, he's taking the Mac, as they say. So she's a beauty queen. Everyone's dancing. I think we established, or did not establish, that this is a line dance situation where you have a partner for about a couple hours, and then you move on to the next one. And the problem is, she's so hot, everybody in the club wants to dance with her, messing the whole situation up. Whole situation messed up. However, she can't help it. I mean, it is what it is. One thing about me, too, though, is that it's one of the things in life you have no responsibility over. It's like, you came out that way because your parents married your parents. You know what I mean? It's like, it's strange when you find someone who's attractive and they're so enamored by themselves, like the proverbial what's the guy who's looking into the lake staring at himself,
right?
The Greek myth.
I was just gonna say the Greek myth.
Yeah, well, you're so infatuated with yourself, you just can't, you almost don't love other people because you're so in love with yourself, that kind of person, right? It's like, it didn't even come from you. It was your parents, you know. And goodness. I think sometimes really we have a unhealthy relationship with it as a person and as a liar, where we don't understand, for lack of better terms, logistics, right? Like, our parents, for example, are from two different families from two different places in the South that happen to migrate to Colorado, that happen to live in the same neighborhood, that happen to marry each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, to take responsibility for your deity, your natural deity, is to take responsibility for your whole ancestral lineage. Like, you made it all up. It's like, come on, you know what I mean? However, at the same time, you can have a healthy relationship with your, you appreciate the fact that happens. You know what I mean? Right. Because I saw this woman from, I think she was, her parents were Argentinian and German.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, oh, that's what happens when that happens. Okay, let's do some more of that. Good job. Again, but it's like, no one controls that, you know what I mean? And I think this is time to change it, but the racial situation in America is solved and was solved and is being solved by two people falling in love that happen to not look like each other. You know what I mean?
I completely agree. I'm glad that we look like the rainbow in our families.
Yeah.
So,
and
we have a lot of interracial marriages, children.
Mm-hmm.
It's what heaven looks like. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. That's great.
I love that.
Yeah. Let me see. I was going to say something else. And just last thing on that. My dad had, five brothers and two sisters. No, four brothers and two sisters. And all, like, my Uncle Leonard, super dark. My Aunt Jean, super light. And they born right after each other. It's like, it just happens to happen, you know. And
Those genes.
all most beautiful people, how we all look different. And it's like, you have to find the beauty in yourself that isn't just something about turning your head. It's something that keeps you in mind and other people after you leave. You know what I mean? I think that's the real test of you.
Absolutely. Because I remember even a conversation I had with my son's father, and he was talking about, you know, the hottest girl at the school. However, her personality was not good, so it even made her not
She's
as
mean
attractive.
Not good. As in mad.
Right. So it's like, yes, you can be beautiful, and it's best when your character and your spirit, your attitude is just as beautiful.
Amen. Okay, so she's dancing with Michael Jackson, and she tells him, "My name is Billie Jean. Like we said before, every head turned with eyes that dream the meaning of one." So you're talking about a scene where you have it's like a line dance situation where you have multiple people dancing with each other and you kind of move back and forth. And the thing that makes it function correctly is if you dance with your partner for that season and then you move on. And what messes the whole scene up is when they're all trying to dance with the same person. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, this is one of those situations where are we dancing or are we dancing? Because there's that innuendo throughout the whole song. However, the problem comes when you stop dancing and you start dancing. And that's what everyone was trying to do. It's like this society, if you want to call it dance or society, functions if we do the dance. Where we see the attraction, we interact with each other for a season, and we move on to the next part of the dance. However, when we have this kind of infatuation thing, and it starts getting into how can I keep this moment and hold on to this person and possess this thing, and I can't just let this thing come in and out of my life. When it becomes something like that, that's when the situation that we have turns out the way it does. You know what I mean?
I can see that. I think, was I talking to you about the butterfly effect?
Not recently, but we have talked about it.
Yes, that's what this reminds me of, is the butterfly effect, where you see, for me, when I think about that effect, I think of something that is valuable, it is beautiful, you appreciate it, and also you allow it to be what it is outside of yourself and outside of you putting an identity on it and outside of you controlling it.
Right.
And so I think that that's the best way to truly love others, is by allowing them to be who they actually are, not who we want them to be to us, and allow them to fly, allow them to express themselves, allow them to grow, make mistakes, get back up, and it not being contingent on us loving them or not loving them.
Right.
So just loving people in every form and not controlling and being fearful and controlling them. Instead, loving them and ourselves enough to allow them to be the full expression of who they are.
Right. Yeah, and what's hard about doing that is when you start learning boundaries.
Oh, yes.
Right? Because the whole song is about the membrane between dating and marriage. Without there leading clear boundaries. That's the whole song, right? You're doing a dating activity that turned into a marriage activity, and you don't know how to manage that situation. That's basically what happened, right? You have a dance floor where it's like, hey, we're going to date for a few lines in the song and we're gonna move on. And then they didn't move on. You know what I mean?
Right. I think that is a huge problem in this generation, is that it's too much selfishness, because if you're dating and you don't see yourselves going to that next level of being in a committed relationship and marriage, then why don't we let one another go? And I really think that it is because of selfishness, not wanting to be single, wanting to hold on to someone while we figure something out.
Oh, wow.
Just all those different things.
Like a placeholder almost.
Right. And people aren't placeholders. They never have been. We should honor ourselves and one another better than that. And so, we're not placeholders, and we're not, you're good enough until I find someone else.
Right.
And I believe we treat one another that way. And it's just so unloving.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Let's start with the next one, which is people always.
Okay. So people always told me, be careful what you do and don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love and be careful of what you do, because the lie becomes the truth.
So it's interesting to me that interesting to me how many people have gotten great advice and still messed up.
Oh man.
Like, isn't that like all of society? Like most of the mistakes we made, someone told us years ago not to do something, and we still do it. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes you don't know until you do it, but you're told. You know what I mean? Like.
Yes, I remember when you saying this reminds me of something I definitely did. I got advice to slow down in this relationship. And instead of being humble enough and asking, Frank was the person that told me to slow down. Instead of asking him, okay, Frank, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
How do I slow down? What is slowing down? Like, what's some practical steps of slowing down? What does that look like? How do I do that? Instead, I was just like, okay, I hear you. And, kept going down, 100 miles per hour.
Right.
So, sometimes I feel like we're not humble enough to ask the person.
I said, hey, questions.
Yes, ask questions. And I definitely made so many mistakes by not having those follow-up questions.
Yeah. I mean, like they said, careful love. Right? Mm-hmm. It's like, are you loving carefully? And that doesn't mean
that's good.
Apprehensively with fear, because there's no fear in love. However,
right.
Are you caring about yourself and the person in love?
Right. I love that. I remember Mrs. Page told me this year, which I really appreciated. She said, you didn't enter into this situation lackadaisical,
right.
Just being careless. You were not careless. And I really appreciated that because, like you said, when I was younger, even though I didn't know I was being careless, I absolutely was careless.
Yeah. And careless with yourself as well, because
absolutely.
It says don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. However, that goes both ways. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the advice that we're getting out here in the dating world is from hurt people, boys and girls, or men and women.
Right.
And it's because they don't care with their own hearts, and they don't care with someone else's heart. And I think we lost that community aspect of dating where everyone knew who was dating who. And what I mean earlier, I mean the family knew. And that meant that there's some accountability as far as how you treat someone else. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This
absolutely.
whole strike left and strike right stuff doesn't have any accountability to it. There's no, her uncle is going to have something to say about how you treat her, or her mom raised her a certain way and expects a certain level of respect, and that's not going to fly. You know what I mean?
Right.
We go to the same grocery store, in the same church, in the same school or college. There's that community is what we're lacking right now, and because of that, the consequences to our actions aren't as felt, They don't. So before, if a woman got pregnant, the whole family's pregnant now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we're having a kid. Grandma, mom, her, dad, grandpa, cousins, everybody's having a kid, right? And that used to be the case. So because everyone's raising this kid and having this kid, we're all invested in how this comes about in the first place.
Right.
And you don't want, I mean, back in the day, it's like, hey, where are you from, bro? Like, who's your whole lineage? I'm not sure if I want my family to marry into your family's blood. That's how careful they were with this kind of stuff.
Right.
And we call it old-fashioned and call it outdated. However, they had dynasties of families because they were careful about this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they know, yes, my daughter may be beautiful, and that might attract every head on the dance floor. However, every head will come into his kingdom. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to, we don't have gestures out here. You know what I mean? We got a whole bunch of jokers trying to marry queens. It's like, just because she's beautiful doesn't mean you are worthy in that access. It's like, where are you from? You know what I mean? Where are you about? What's your family like? That is just not happening right now.
Yeah.
It's not going on. And one of the things that I just song that kind of popped out at me is like, it's like but one of the domestic examples from the fatherless generation. There's no healthy male influence at all in this whole song.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? Because the last song we were talking about was a female in the middle of a chaotic situation trying to make it work somehow, some way. And this is a song about a man in the middle of a chaotic situation trying to make it work somehow, some way. And it's like, how do you get here? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. What I was thinking is, I agree with you because it's this mother saying, be careful of who you love and be careful not to go around breaking young girls' hearts. So, or I should say, people were telling him to be careful of not breaking young girls' hearts, and his mother's telling him to be careful of who you love. And usually when people say things like that, it's because they have done the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sometimes I feel like we get too used to people in our sphere's voices,
Right.
where we don't actually hear what they're saying.
Right.
And I think that can be concerning too, that we actually don't take for granted the voices that are closest to us, because
Right.
a lot of times, like Carpenter was saying years ago, that, you know, God can be talking to you through grandma that day.
Right.
You know, so I think that is definitely, you're right. There's definitely, you're not seeing that male mentorship or that voice of reason or direction for this man in a difficult situation.
Well, he's saying she's not my lover, right? She's just a girl who claims I'm the one, but the kid is not my son, right? So something happened. The boy came from somewhere.
Right.
So it's just interesting. One thing I was thinking about when we were looking over the song, I'm like, it's interesting because I guarantee you 1,000% that he didn't tell Billie Jean any of this stuff when they're dancing.
Right.
Right? But after the boy comes, after his responsibilities, after there's something to do, after consequences show up, all of a sudden she's not my lover. She's just some girl. Because before she's a really queen.
Right. I mean, that whole esteem changed real quick, and I've definitely been on the receiving end of that, where you know, people call it love bombing or whatever. However, it's like you're the center of attention, you're the most beautiful, you're the most desired, and then, like you said, when responsibility comes, then someone's truest heart comes out. Right. And is exposed.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because she now it's before, like everything switches before everybody's attempting to latch on to her, and now, you know, 4 stanzas down, now she's attempting to latch on to him.
Right.
And who knows if it is his kid, because the truth of the matter is sometimes when, you know, we as young ladies or young men live reckless, they just
Careless.
choose, right, careless, yes. They just choose, well, I think he would probably be a good, he'd probably be a good man. He'd probably take care of his responsibility. He probably wouldn't abuse me, or he probably will go to work or whatever. And so who knows if she even knows. It may just be like, oh, out of the people I was dealing with, he seems like he'll actually maybe do the right thing because I'm in a bad situation now.
Yeah. I mean, she says I'm the one with the kids on my son. So you have, it was 2 people who had a problem. Now you got 3.
Right.
So good and bad, everything's about multiplication. You know what I mean?
Oh,
because one thing we forget is when in the beginning God said, "Be fruitful and multiply." It could be good fruit, bad fruit, whatever, but it's not multiply.
That's right.
No matter what. So I think sometimes we, like you said before, the multiply cycle, I thought you were talking about was the whole theory that the winds will multiply to create a tornado across the road or something like that.
Yes, you know what I mean? I believe I used the wrong term. I do know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, it's like there's consequences, there's ripple effects to everything that we do, and I think sometimes it's strange because human beings are very adaptive, and because we're adaptive, we do some very crazy things. And what I mean by that is, one moment we can decide we're the most powerful person on the planet, and the next moment we can decide we're the victim. And I mean moment to moment.
Literally in this song, yes.
It's
went
like,
from, yes,
right?
Exactly.
I'm a lead queen, everybody wants me, it's all this, it's all that, and then a few seconds later, I'm a victim, I don't know who's who and what's what, and someone needs to help me take care of this lady. It's like, which one is it? You know what I mean? Are you powerful on top of the world, independent woman, or are you like trying to figure out who's who and what's what? Because those are 2 different realities, and they can exist in the same exact person.
That's true.
From one moment to one moment.
Pressure.
Speaking of pressure, the next thing is
right. For 40 days and 40 nights, the law was on her side. But who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes and plans, 'cause we danced on the floor in the round.
This song's funny because there's like, I didn't notice that until just right now, the like biblical reference of 40 days and 40 nights. There's actually another one later on. And it's just funny because obviously God is not mentioned in this song at all. However, because God is God, it's inescapable. Like you can do whatever it is you want to do. However, the systems that you put in place, like reproduction, are gonna take precedent over your dance. You know what I mean? It's like whatever you're trying to do is subject to the laws of God and nature. Nature's God. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? And
that's right.
You have this situation where he's in distress and she's in distress, and it started out as a dance. You know what I mean? And it's like at some point in time you have to understand that pleasure comes at a cost.
Yes, I love that you said that, because I just had a conversation with Eli. For those who don't know, that's my son. Last weekend or last Friday, and I was telling him that the word distraction, definition of it means amusement.
Wow.
And so, yes, it does. Yes, pleasure, just, amusement, all those kind of things. There's a other side of the coin that you have to be very careful about.
Yeah. And shout out to high school lit teacher Henry, Mr. Henry.
Oh, yeah.
It might, now that I think about it, it might have, no, I started that actually, but he was one of the people who helped me to understand how to parse words. He's the one that's the word he used to show us how words work together. And he's talking about amusement as the absence of thought, right? Like A is not, muse is to think. So muse is to not think.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So when you're going to an amusement park, the whole purpose of the park is to help you not think. And that's why it's so intoxicatingly distracting. Like the white lights and the sounds and the candy and all the things you're not supposed to eat all the time, and the carnival games and this, that, and the other thing. And the point of it is that for a few hours I'm just not going to think. You know what I mean? And I think we make life into an amusement park when it becomes too stressful to contemplate the implications of our choices. So, if you don't want to think about it, if I don't want to think about the responsibility of marriage, relationships, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to treat women as an amusement park. And vice versa.
Wow. Right, they even call it the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely. And once again, that's not the original intent. That's not the plan. And when we treat ourselves and one another like a game or like an amusement park, instead of creations created in the image of God, then there's nothing that can come out of that except chaos.
Right. You know what's funny though about amusement parks is they have rules.
It's true.
So be careful if someone you're trying to ride doesn't have rules for admission. Because it may not be that safe. You know what I mean? It's like, you can ride. It's like, yeah, but am I supposed to be a certain height?
I was gonna say, 4.
Oh no, just hop on. Just go ahead and hop on. Is there a seatbelt? No protection. Just hop on. Just ride the ride.
I love this so much.
At some point in time, the laws of gravity, laws of physics are going to take over.
Right.
And consequences will be had. It's like, look, I know you want to have fun, but there's some stuff that's higher than us.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's some stuff that it's not asking you permission to exist. It just does. And when you confront something like that, and you haven't confronted something like that for a long time, it smacks you right in the face, and you end up in a crazier situation than this, because you didn't respect the rule. It's the rule man. It's the small things that are supposed to be done up to that point.
Right.
All right. Let's see. So, let me see. Oh yeah. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Yeah, definitely won't think twice.
Right.
Let me see. Oh yeah, that's the part I wanted to go. So, on that last stanza, when it said that she's in demand, you have to be careful of someone who's in demand. And what I mean by that is for obvious reasons. However, there's people who are in demand who are still exclusive. And there are people who are in demand who aren't exclusive, to be less blunt. That's the problem right there. It's like when your duty has no boundaries, it becomes an ugly situation.
So good.
Like everybody shouldn't have access to you.
Exactly. It's just so dangerous when we have that mindset of, they call it free and really it's bondage.
Right.
And I hate how this generation twists things so much. It's so twisted. And I just hate that. So I'm glad we're doing that podcast even for that reason, so that we can just untwist some of these lies. And you have such a better understanding and such a better self-esteem when you have boundaries, when you have standards, when you have rules, when you hold yourself and other people to a certain standard. It automatically elevates yourself and every single person around you, elevates your life. And I remember a very dear teacher, both of ours, Mrs. Jackson, she said, if you don't have criteria, you're going to cry.
Oh, wow.
And so that's like, in the end of the day, if you don't have a criteria, you're going to cry.
Right.
And not happy tears, not tears of joy. It's going to be sorrow. It's going to be devastation. It's going to be embarrassment. It's going to be so many different things. And I heard this statistic. I want to say it and also don't want to say it because I haven't checked it out. And they were just saying, in the statistic, they were saying how prevalent it is for women to get STDs and these different things like that. And it's like our freedom is causing us to become sick. You know what I'm saying? So is that freedom really? And I think those are the kind of questions that we really need to start asking ourselves and asking those people closest to us and talking to our kids about. Is your freedom actually making you more free?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a quote from Lee. However, you keep saying it because it's pretty profound. I mean, he said in the Spider-Man movie, he said with great power comes great responsibility, right? Love is power, so with love comes responsibility. You know what I mean? And what that means is I'm gonna put boundaries around my love so that anything and everything can't get into it. And when I give it out, it's as potent as it can be. It's not deleted. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
It's pure love. It's not love with the asterisk next to it saying, these are my conditions and these are my this is baggage attached to my love. You know, it's just pure love. And obviously easier said than done. However, the pursuit of perfection is what makes us the best that we can be. Sometimes we let the standard drop because we don't want the pressure of perfection. But the pressure of perfection is what makes you as good as you can be. And I think we let that concept slip because we had like this unspoken agreement with each other. If you don't hold me accountable, I won't hold you accountable, and we can all have our fun and everything is good to go. However, you turn 35, 36, 37, 45, 46, 47, and you look back and you have all these regrets. That's not good. You still have 60 years left to go. You have like the rest of your life to go, and you have all these baggage you're going to take into the rest of your life. And one of the things I'm seeing more out there is older generations coming back and telling older generations how it actually is on the end of their pathway.
That's right.
And not like they're dead or dying, it's just like they're older and they say, okay, I went down the path you're going down, and let me tell you how it looks on this side of things, and maybe you should make some different choices.
Yes, I honestly really do love that. I just saw a clip actually with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, I think, or Chad, whatever his name is.
Ocho Cinco, yes sir.
That guy. And he was talking about, why would you get married, different things like that. And he was saying that, at his age, Shannon Sharp was saying at his age, that he sees how he prioritized football above literally everything, including relationships, and how now he doesn't have football and he doesn't have the relationships.
Oh, wow.
And so I think that was so like you said, I appreciate the people that
transparency.
Yes, the transparency and vulnerability, just a little older than us.
Yeah.
And are telling us, hey, you may want to prioritize this in a different way.
Yeah. I mean, that's what one of the purposes of this podcast is. It's not necessarily for, it's not for a particular person. However, if it was for someone, it would be for my niece and nephew, her kids, and just the younger generations to let them know, hey, there's some things you can avoid if you just listen to what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if there was like a quote-unquote target audience, maybe young people, let them know, hey, it all starts out as a dance and then it becomes adulthood real quick. You know what I mean? So let's examine this before you walk down there, so you don't have to extract that energy and time from your own soul going through this the hard way. You know what I mean? Because if you go through this song in real life, this song is 3 minutes long. This in real life is about 25 years.
At least.
You know what I mean? That's something good. And that's hopefully everyone's okay at the end of that. Because you have the time it takes to raise a kid, and hopefully you can figure out before they're old enough to realize what's going on, how to get along with each other to raise a kid, and then you have to get that kid all the way through college. So it's like, and their first house, and their first marriage, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, so this is a 25-year-old song compressed into a situation, I should say, compressed into a 3-minute song. You know what I mean?
Right.
And sometimes we forget that kind of stuff because our relationship with time is so skewed because we have the whole microwave situation where I put this in for 30 seconds and I get a result. It's like, this isn't a 30-second situation, man.
No, it's not.
It's a whole lifetime.
It's very, very, very real. So she goes on to say, he goes on to say, she told my baby we'd dance till 3. Then she looked at me, then showed a photo. My baby cried. His eyes were like mine. Oh no. Because we danced on the floor in the round.
Remember that little sound clip they have on these short videos on YouTube? It's like, oh no.
Oh, right.
Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Right.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's kind of funny looking at reality shows on the outside. However, like, that sucks.
Right.
Like having controversy around a baby, which should be like a good thing and like happy.
Yes.
But having controversy around that is just horrible.
Horrible. Yes. It is horrible. It's sad.
It takes the joy out of the whole situation.
Oh, it's a miracle, right? It's such a miracle to be able to carry a baby, be able to have a child, and it's just a gift and it's a miracle. And yes, it becomes controversy, and that's not what it's supposed to be.
So imagine this is what happens if you don't have boundaries. You'll have a miracle and treat it like a hot potato. Because at the end of the day, the fact that something that you can't even see swam and found something else you can't even see and created another person is a miracle, right? But you're like, oh, you take the miracle. No, you take it. No, you take it.
Right.
I started treating a miracle, right? And
Start
it's
seeing
because there's no boundaries.
Right. Start seeing it more as a burden or responsibility and not a miracle.
Right.
The perception, right, is just so different.
So we went from 2 people dancing to 3 people. So we have Billie Jean, Michael Jackson, and the baby. And now we have girl number 4, which is Michael Jackson's girlfriend, who is getting confronted with the picture of his son that looks just like him. That's just happened in those 3 lines. She told my baby we danced till 3. So Billie Jean told his girlfriend, oh yeah, me and your boyfriend were dancing till 3. And this is a picture of the baby we had after we got done dancing. And now you have 4 people in heartbreak because you don't have boundaries on love, right? So when you have when you're in a situation where you're on the woman's side and you're getting danced with, and he's slick and he's smooth and he's suave, perhaps, you gotta make sure you know if you're his only baby or he has no baby before you have a baby. Because all this stuff, the game and all that stuff that he's gonna tell you to get you upstairs and in the med, is all gonna switch up and you're just gonna be some girl I danced with a while ago.
Right.
She's just some girl. Right? It's like, what's going on here? Because, like, again, we're talking about the standards. It's like, if your standard isn't high enough, the risk that you're taking is that you're allowing snakes in your garden, and you will reap the consequences of that later on.
Absolutely.